Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. My name is Saimah and welcome to Saimah's Experience. I've been a Turo host on the platform since 2015, and in this video I'm going to go over why we are likely going to see a pretty dramatic downward trend in the Turo marketplace for the second half of 2021. And this is not just based off of what I think, but I'm actually going to show you guys my sales history from the many years that I've been doing this and show you some of the pattern recognition that I've come to see and why I anticipate that we are going to see a slowdown in the market. And not only that, but I will go over exactly what you can do to survive it by sharing all the tips that I've implemented throughout the years. So I think that you guys will find this really valuable. The intent of this video is there's so many of you guys that are just joining the marketplace, and it's very exciting and things are going very well, but I really want you guys to anticipate exactly what happens throughout an entire given year and what you can do to prepare yourself so that there are no surprises and that you position yourself really well. So now I'm going to go over 4 indicators that we are going to see somewhat of a market crash. Now, the first thing, which is very important, is just looking at the history and patterns of what I've seen over the years myself. Now, I'm going to show you guys 2018 and 2019, and this is a screenshot of my earnings from Turo in these given years. I'm not going to go over 2020 because that was such an anomaly of a year because of everything that took place. However, from 2018 and 2019, which I consider to be very consistent good years on Turo, you can see that especially in Q4 of the year, we begin to see a slowdown in business. For us here in Southern California, we sort of peak in August and start going into September, October, November, and December, we see an overall downturn in business. Now, from the calculations that I've done and kind of the math that I've worked out, I've typically have seen probably about a 20 to 30% drop off in business. And that is quite significant and definitely something that you want to account for as we head into the second half of 2021. Now, I think there's a lot of reasons why this happens, but the primary being that kids are going back to school, peak vacation season is ending. So it's just really buying behavior and travel behavior that's changing. And so we do see that take an effect on our car rental businesses on the Turo platform. And it's very important that you just anticipate for what's to come and start planning accordingly. And I'll tell you how to survive that in just a couple of minutes. Now, the number 2 reason why we'll see a downturn in the market is because there is an obvious change in weather conditions as we get towards the winter season. Now, this really varies by where you are geographically located, and people will feel the effects of this at different times. For example, 2 booming markets for Turo are Florida and Arizona, specifically places like Miami and Phoenix. However, right now, when I talk to some of my host friends that are based out of those areas, they are experiencing a downward trend in business because weather patterns have really changed for them. If you're in the Miami area, you're likely experiencing a lot of rain. You guys are going into hurricane season, which is going to last a few months, and that is obviously going to affect travel for people coming that would normally come into these areas. This isn't exactly the ideal time to visit Miami. Now, for my host friends in the Phoenix area, it's incredibly hot for you guys. You guys are getting temperatures of like 110 degrees per day, and so that is also not peak travel season for you guys just because the heat is to such an extreme. So you guys are also experiencing somewhat of a slowdown in business. Now, in other parts of the country, things are completely different, such as here in Southern California. We are in July. We have amazing weather right now. We're kind of getting out of our June gloom and we get May showers, but July and August are absolutely beautiful here, and we see tons of people traveling, making their way out, heading out to PCH and our local beach cities, and it's really phenomenal for business. Same thing goes for places like Hawaii, where we really share in similar patterns, weather patterns during this time of year. We're both experiencing weather that's in, the low 80s, beautiful sunny days, blue skies. It's very nice. So people are definitely enticed to travel to these types of areas. Now, my friends that are in the East Coast, as we get deeper into the winter months where you guys have extreme winters, it does definitely take a toll on your business. So with the weather factor really taking into effect as we move in towards the winter season, you will see a big shift in your Turo business. So something that you really want to account for, because not as many people will be moving about as they normally would in nice weather. Now, reason number 3 why I think that we're going to see a downturn in the Turo market is because things are very bubbly right now due to new car vehicle production, right? So there has been a massive slowdown in new cars on the market, new cars available to purchase, and also traditional car rental companies being able to replenish their car rental fleets, because they typically purchase new vehicles straight from the manufacturer to sort of build out their fleets, and they haven't been able to do that because new vehicle production has been in such a slump due to the semiconductor chip shortage. I read some really good reports that you can see here from Reuters recently, where there were executives from GM and Ford talking about how they are anticipating production to really pick up in the second half of 2021. We will see somewhat of a slump going into the beginning of 2022, but overall the trends are going to improve, which means that there are going to be more new vehicles available for purchase, which could also cause people not to rent as much from platforms like Turo. And then big traditional car rental companies like Hertz, Enterprise, Budget, Thrifty, the most popular ones, immediately they're going to move to get their hands on new vehicles and really build out their fleets like they once used to be prior to the pandemic. So with a combination of these factors, it will definitely pull business away from the Turo marketplace, and it'll sort of correct things in the market. So we can definitely anticipate for that to happen. And finally, reason number 4, we are seeing a huge influx of new hosts joining the Turo marketplace because there is such a high demand for rental cars, and Turo is becoming very popular. People are enjoying the experience, and it's all very, very, very exciting. But what that also means for when the market takes a turn is that because there is such an influx of new hosts and more vehicles, more supply on the market, when demand goes down, the shortage in demand gets distributed over a larger supply. So overall, you end up competing with way more people in a slow season, which makes it hard to sort of pine for business. So we are going to see all of this sort of play out most likely in the next 6 to 8 months, and we will see a downturn in the market. Now, of course, we can have things happen that can be a complete anomaly like we've seen happen last year. And things can take a different direction. You can never 100% predict a market, but perhaps the travel boom can continue. The pent-up spending demand that has been built up because of the lack of spending in 2020 can continue throughout the year. So things can really sway in a different direction, but I personally think that we will see a slowdown in the market as we get through the rest of the year. And also, we don't exactly know how things with the pandemic are going to settle out, especially in the winter season. So that could also play a role in what may or may not happen with the Turo marketplace. All right, you guys, if you're liking this video so far, make sure you hit that like button. If you're interested in really learning about how to do good deep dive market research so you can anticipate trends in your market and anticipate what type of cars you should list and what type of cars will fare well throughout the year, you definitely want to check out my course, which has 12 plus hours of content on exactly how to break down and decipher the Turo marketplace so you can have a consistent, steady business throughout the year, available to you now at powerhost.club, and the links are down in the description below. How to survive a downward trending market. This is something that you will deal with most likely every single year that you are hosting on the Turo platform. But the good news is there are definitely things you can do, and this is how I've been able to remain successful on the platform for so many years, 6+ years. I feel like a dinosaur, which is what one of my host friends referred to me as because I've been doing this for so long. So the first thing that I really want to talk to you guys about is understanding whether or not you are over leveraged on the vehicles that you currently have. Now, through my one-on-one consultations that I offer for new Turo hosts who are joining the platform, what I've seen is because so many people got into the Turo market within the last couple months, they really bought into cars at the peak of the market. So they are in cars where they're paying overinflated prices, which ultimately means they are a bit over leveraged, especially as we head into the down season. Things are great right now because there's such a high demand, but will you be able to position yourself to where this business is still profitable for you if we see a downturn? So that is really what you want to evaluate. You want to take a step back right now and take a look at all of your cars, the expense of running your business, and ask yourself, put yourself through scenarios. If you saw your market and your revenue take a 20 to 30% dip as we head into Q4 of the year, will you be able to survive? Will you be able to make your payments? Will you still be able to retain a margin? If the answer is no, then you do want to make sure that you eliminate some of that risk. And right now is the best time to do it. Used cars are getting some of the best prices that we've ever seen. And that trend is also starting to change because more vehicles are coming onto the market with car manufacturing picking back up. So you have a very tiny window from right now, if you are over leveraged, to sell your vehicles and get really good prices on them before we head into a slump. So deleverage yourself and offset your risk if you find yourself in that position. And second, you really always want to make sure that you have at least 3 to 6 months worth of savings in your bank account for each one of your cars. So whatever your expenses, car payments, insurance per month, always have that safety net set aside because you never know what could happen. And it may not be that the market takes a downturn. Maybe it's that your car gets into an accident and it's down for a couple months of repair. You want to make sure that you always have a 3 to 6 month worth of safety net set aside should you encounter some of these issues, which do always take place. So make sure right now you really leverage the fact that we're in a peak season, and because things are so profitable right now, that you're stashing away some of that money so that you can really be in a nice, comfortable position should we go into a season where things really slow down. And finally, the interesting thing about the being in a slower season of the Turo marketplace is that it actually sometimes requires more work than being in a peak market like we are right now. Reason being because it takes more time to analyze a market, to understand what is going on with the demand, and really adjusting your value offering on your listings. So personally, I find that when the market slows down, I tend to put more time into my listings. I tend to put more time into researching the market, understanding, how frequently people are renting, what cars are renting and why, what type of experience are people seeking, and what type of value are they looking for. So as we go into the second half of this year, you really need to start to dedicate more times, if things are slowing down for you, into understanding the market on a deeper level so that you can adjust your listings and your value offering to attract potential renters that are in your market. That becomes very, very important because you are are definitely competing against so many more people, and there is not as much demand. So any rentals that are happening, then the name of the game becomes capturing the few people that are looking to rent and making sure that they are attracted to your listing. And again, this is something that I go really deep into in my course because it is such an in-depth topic that really has so many variables to it. So that's something that if you are just getting into the market and if it's something that you want to understand, then I would highly recommend that you check that out. All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you guys have found this video of value, and hopefully it gives you some points to really think about and anticipate for in the future, especially in the next 6 months or so, and particularly in Q4 of the year. I hope you guys are all having an amazing summer season on the Turo platform, and I look forward to getting to know you guys in the comment section. Please do chime in and let me know what market you're from and kind of what trends and patterns you guys are experiencing. Thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, my name is Saimah. This is Saimah's Experience. And if you like this video, be sure to hit that like button. Thanks, guys. Take care.